I hope that for a minute of time that the Lord will bless me. I've been praying a lot about this weekend and just praying that the Lord would have it go well. And, as I began to hear people come in and begin to talk, and Sister Linda began to speak about Brother Teddy's little recitation that he always told Brother Danny. I began to think, Lord, would you bless me with something that would get to these people that don't know you. And I hope that here today that the Lord will bless me for just a few minutes of time, and I'll shortly get out of the way, and we'll let the brothers come to the chat. But here today that whenever we would meet Brother Teddy out, whether it be at his church or out at Walmart somewhere, Brother Elisha, he always had the tightest hug and the sweetest smile and a kiss on the cheek for you in this world. He always showed this world the love of Jesus Christ. At least that's how I see it. For I'm so glad here today that he would begin to tell a little recitation about a young boy that got lost one time. And he found himself a police officer, and he began to go to that police officer and tell him, he said, my mom, she's walked away and I'm lost. I just went away for a minute, now I can't find her. And he began to say to him, son, where do you live? And he said, I live right next to the old church. And that officer, he began to think that there was only 3 churches in that town there. And Brother Chad, that little boy, he began to tell him, he said, all I know is that it's a white church, and on top of that church there is a cross. And you know what? That little officer, he began to think there was only one church in that town that had a cross upon that steeple. And I'm so glad here today that that young child, he said, officer, if you could just give me in view of that cross, I know where I'll be home. Oh, today I want you to know that we need to get in view of that cross, or whenever we leave this world. Oh, heaven, it will be our home if we would take heed unto the words of the Lord. I'm so glad that for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam of the timber shall answer it. Brother Chad, that's what Habakkuk, he began to write. Yeah, and it says that for the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord as the waters cover the sea. I want you to know that this whole world, it will tell you that this Bible, it's nothing but fairy tales and nothing but old wives' tales and stories try to get you to be a better person. But I want you to know that whenever the Lord, he took up his abode in my heart, I want you to know I wanted to strive to be like Jesus Christ was here in this world. For he had so much love that whenever he was hanging there upon that old tree, he even said, God, he said, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And I want you to know that, in this world, whenever you come and give your hand to the church and you're saved by the grace of God, it don't mean that you won't ever do wrong again. It don't mean that you won't ever sin again in this world. But whenever troubles and sorrows come your way, I'm so glad that I got a Lord to lean upon, to cry out to. Lord, it's me again. Lord, would you help me? And I want you to know that whenever I went down last weekend to get a little rope for that baptizing from the Jordan Free Wills, they began to tell me that they had a baptizing of their own puppo. And I began to think as they began to sing their first song there that day, that I just wanted to. I wouldn't have, but I wanted to get up there and begin to sing that song, the letter that I sang here last weekend, because, yeah, Brother Teddy, he was so much to that church and to this community here. Yeah, that it begins to show this world that whenever you get down, you just cry out to the Lord, and He'll hear your cry. He'll hear your prayers. Oh, I want you to know that whenever Peter, he began to write, he began to repeat after the old scriptures that said, behold, I lay a stone in Zion, at which the builders rejected. And you know, it says that stone there, it became the chief cornerstone, Brother Jonah. Oh, it was Jesus Christ, for the foolish man shall build his house upon the sand, and that wise man he shall dig deep right unto the stone and build his house upon that stone. Oh, when I was just 17 years old, I cried out to the Lord, Lord, would you save my soul? I dug as deep as I could, Papa. I tried to give the Lord everything that was shallow here in this world unto Him. And you know what? That ain't what He wanted. He wanted me to dig deep right down in my heart and say, Lord, I want to live for you. I want to give you everything, Lord. Oh, what do you have to give in this world but your whole heart unto the Lord? Yeah, whenever I was listening, Brother Elisha, to one of those old recordings, Brother Joe, I began to hear a preacher get down and begin to hold prayer. And you know what they began? They began to pray right there for Joey's mom and dad and for their children, for it was Joey's mama's funeral. And you know, I'm so glad here today that whenever I get the blessings from those little recordings that I hear somebody being prayed for, Brother Chad, that means a lot to me, for I know here in this world that I was prayed for many times over by all my family, all my loved ones here in this world. What are you showing your children? If you aren't showing them to get down and that you pray for them, that God will lead you and help you and guide you to raise them up in the way that you'd have them to go. Yeah, I'm so glad that whenever, Brother Danny, I leave this world, I want to see those eastern skies break open. I want to see the Lord begin to stretch out His arms unto this dying world and cry out to His children, come on home, your troubles and sorrows, they are no more in this world. Come and be with me over home, safe at home forevermore. I'm going home one day, and I want this whole world to come and go with me. You know what? That's all that Christ wanted here in this world. He wanted everybody to take heed unto His word, and show love and mercy here in this life. Or whenever one of our own began to get in trouble, you know, some people say, well, just push them right out of the church. Well, just get rid of them. Don't have anything else to do with them. We need to lift each other up and help one another and show the love that Christ showed to this lost and dying world. What are we doing here in this life if we are showing that we're just trying to be Christ-like here in this life? Or you know, it says, I want you to know that we will none be perfect. We will none show as much love as Christ did unto this lost and dying world. For I'm glad here today that Christ Christ is. He's still crying out to this lost and dying world, Brother Thomas. You know, many times we will walk out in the waters and we may baptize people, but what those people sometimes might not realize is that maybe there is one standing there on the banks of that river, and you know, looking and watching and begin to think just a little bit about their relationship with God. Maybe just taking that step out for Christ. That is the very thing that will show this lost and dying world just where it is that you stand. And you never know whose attention that may get. For you know, there's many times in this world you'll hear people say, you'll even hear preachers say that I was the meanest kid that has ever been on this earth, but the Lord forgave me. I've heard that said many times in this life. But you know what? The Lord, He's always there for you no matter what. In your time of need, if you would, but just take heed and just give unto Him your whole heart, soul, mind, and strength. And I'll go ahead and get out of the way.